just a bad dream, Sweet Pea.
Telltale's The Walking Dead is one of the best modern examples of good, emotional storytelling that I've come across in a long time. The series, which started in 2012, has gone on to garner incredible praise from critics and players alike, with all 4 games receiving many awards each. With all of this in mind, it should come as no surprise that I personally view it as a masterpiece, but I felt like I needed to explain why. The biggest and best examples of why I view it as such are its story and characters. Never have I personally experienced a story where I felt true fear for the safety and well-being of the people within, as well as sadness for them when they experienced hardships or died. Telltale's style of storytelling lends itself over perfectly to well-thought-out and developed characters. We've all seen stories set in a zombie-infested world, and in that way, this series is really no different. But it stands out by the rich and believable personalities and their interactions with one another. It's through these characters that the world of The Walking Dead is brought to life. With this in mind, the best way to show my thoughts on why this series is a masterpiece is through the eyes of its only reoccurring character, Clementine. Clementine is arguably the main protagonist of the series, and we are introduced to her early in the first title while taking on the role of that game's playable character, Lee Everett. Her story mirrors all of our lives there, as it is an example of how an innocent young child interacts with their parents as well as dealing with the loss of them. She loses everything and everyone she knows to the zombie outbreak and is forced to a point where the only person she can rely on is Lee, who finds her hiding in a treehouse. He takes her with him after telling her that they look for her parents, even though he knows that they're likely dead.
Let's go. Stay close to me.
Clementine shows through her actions that she is innocent, and through her innocence she inadvertently highlights how different and vile the world has become. Although, the fact that her innocence exists proves that despite all of that, there can still be hope for a better future, and other characters take notice and gain hope for themselves through her. Take Lee, for example. The first time we see him, he is in a cop car being taken to prison for murdering a state senator who had slept with his wife. The outbreak begins and he ends up in a ditch surrounded by walkers. All hope for him seems lost until he sees Clem in the distance. During their travels, Lee teaches and trains her on everything she'd need to know to survive on her own, and she grows to love and trust him through the process. Eventually, he becomes a sort of father figure to her.
Me too.
You've killed lots of things now. It doesn't even matter.
Killing is bad no matter what.
But you do it now to protect yourself. And to protect me.
Doesn't make it good.
But you have to.
I do it because it's necessary. Walkers aren't people.
With time, he is able to redeem himself of his faults through his selfless protection of her and through all that he does to ensure her survival. Later on, everything is going well for the group until Clementine is kidnapped by a stranger who promises her that he knows where her parents are. Lee begins to wildly search for her, but is bitten by a walker in the process. He finds and frees her, but has become so weak that he collapses against a wall, unable to stand.
Get up, Lee! The door is right here!
His selflessness lasts him until his dying moments, wherein he continues to mentor her on all that she will need to be prepared for the world without him.
Good.
Clementine then has the option to either leave him so that she doesn't have to witness him die, or shoot him so that he doesn't become a walker.
No, don't worry. I'll miss you.
Me too.
Either way, Lee Everett dies. But he doesn't die a bad man.
I'm scared, Lee.
What can I tell you to make it better?
That you won't leave me.
Oh, I wouldn't do that. I promise. Everything's gonna be all right. Now let's try to get some sleep.
Okay, Lee.
Lee dies a much better person through her help than he would have had she not shown up earlier in the story, and she lives on because of his actions. In this way, they saved each other from unfulfilled deaths. In Season 2, a couple of years have passed since the death of Lee Everett, and Clementine has grown more capable of fending for herself. She takes more of a passive role in the story, and most of her time is spent interacting with others, although this time, she's now the playable character. The first game was big on showing the player what evils the world was capable of, whereas this game takes more of a focus on highlighting what people you know and trust are capable of doing to harm you.
Tough as nails.
Are you all right?
This shed should have been safe.
I'm still not bitten. I never was. And you left me out here to die.
Clementine makes new friends and gets wrapped up in their problems. Loved ones die and hope is almost lost for her until the introduction of Kenny.
Kenny!
Wait, you know this guy? Clementine?
Kenny left the previous game a broken man. He had witnessed the death of his son, and in reaction, his wife had killed herself. Kenny had barely spoken a word to Clementine in the first game, but this time, his presence fills a portion of the hole left by Lee and Clementine's life, and they grow closer. Later on in the story, his girlfriend is killed in a similar fashion to his son's death, which removes any family from his life once again and spirals him down the same dark path he had previously been on. After, his solitary goal becomes the protection and well-being of Clementine above all else, and although his methods of doing so may not be as well thought out as Lee's, it still shows that he truly cares about her. Her, and AJ. AJ comes along later in the story after the death of his mother, Rebecca, and Kenny and Clem take an immediate responsibility over him. By the end, regardless of what happens in the story or who survives, Clementine becomes a mother figure to AJ in a similar fashion to Lee's parental figure status over her, and she shows that she will do anything to protect him.
Please, I'm begging you. Please, stay here. Stay here, where it's safe. Where you two will have a chance.
No, no, no! Why are you doing this?
Because it's the only way. For both of you. Think about Alvy here. Please, Clem, just do as I'm asking. This one last time. You'll meet people. You'll make friends. People better than me. Good people. That don't have to look at you and feel ashamed at what they put you through. Please, Clem, please. Where you won't have to sleep with a gun next to you every night.
Okay. Okay, we'll stay.
Good.
We'll stay.
Good. This is the right decision. Okay. Right. When he's grown, you tell him about his mommy and his daddy and all the people who tried to keep him safe. You tell him, okay? He deserves to know. I got, oh, here. Take this. When he's old enough, you make him wear it. It'll keep the sun out of his eyes. That's important. All right. Good. Keep an eye out for him. Please. Now, you take care of Alvin here. You live a good life, okay? Don't waste this, okay? Now, I'm gonna go before one of us changes their mind. Now, I'm gonna walk away, and I might not look back. Not because I don't want to. I'm real glad to have met you, Clementine.